guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, we are going to be doing a review on the new NATASHA DENONA mini love collection for this upcoming Valentine's Day, I guess. Last year she released a love palette in a midi size, and this is the mini version of the same color story. There are new shades in this little bad boy, but it does mimic the same color story as the midi palette from last year. We also have the Love Cheek Duo to talk about, so I did order this one as well. I do have quite a few thoughts on this, and we also have the lipstick to talk about. So I have all of the stuff on my face today. If you guys want to know my thoughts on whether or not I think that this is worth the money or not, then just keep watching. All right, let's get right on into it. The first product I want to talk about is actually the lipstick because it'll be really nice and quick. This is the I Need a Nude lipstick line from NATASHA. So this is a line of lipsticks that I'm actually very familiar with already. And this is a really creamy satin limited edition shade called Amorosa. You can see that it also has limited edition packaging. It is a very beautiful, like very pink metallic plastic packaging. So this is what I'm talking about right here. You can see that it just flashes against my lights. It actually is moderately weighted in the hand, but it is plastic. You'll see that the bullet itself is also a metallic purpley pink, and you'll actually see ND in the lipstick itself. It is pressed right into the lipstick. This is a beautiful, beautiful shade, but I am going to compare it to my other shade from the line, which is Jeniffer, because I don't know how far off it actually is. This is the permanent collection packaging in the I Need a Nude lipstick line. You can see that it is a really beautiful white packaging. Now, just kind of holding this packaging next to this one, it does feel relatively the same for weight. Now let's see how this shade compares to Jeniffer, because Jeniffer, you guys see it also looks like a very beautiful nudie pink. So I'm gonna see exactly how close it is. So they are different, as you can see. It's not like amazingly different, but it's different enough, I guess, if you are a nudie pink fan. I do think you could definitely get away with having both of them as long as you think that you'll use both shades. The one on the left is Amorosa, the one on the right is Jeniffer. So Jeniffer does have more of like a brighter pink to it, whereas the Amorosa shade is more of a mauvey pink. When it comes to consistency of swatches of formulation, I do believe it is the same formulation as the original I Need a Nude permanent line. So if you are a fan of that line and you love the creaminess, the satin finish, how comfortable it is on the lips, this is one that I think is worth getting if you think that you'll wear the shade, which I do think is very beautiful. It definitely goes well with the eye look. So if you have other pinks and purples in your collection, you'll make really good use out of this shade. The new Amorosa lipstick is going to be available for $25 American dollars. In Canadian dollars, that is 33. This entire collection is going to be available on NATASHA DENONA's website first on January 28th. It's also going to be available at Sephora on January 28th. Now, I actually got this early because she actually did a early access launch a couple of days ago. It only ran for 2 days, and I was really hesitant to order from the website because as a Canadian, I do get charged duties and taxes on top of the cost of the goods. Plus, her experience with her website hasn't always been consistent for me, but I decided to take the risk and it paid off this time. So good job to NATASHA DENONA and her team, because at least with regards to my order, it executed really, really fast. Now let's get on to the next product that I'm going to be talking about, which is the Love Cheek Duo. Now the outer packaging of this, it's a little childish to me. I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm a high-end and luxury girl. I love packaging. I always pay attention to packaging, especially in this category. This ain't it for me. I just wish she would have taken the glitter things in the front out completely. I don't think it was worth doing. Would have just been nice to have the metallic pink packaging fresh by itself. This little thing does move a little bit. See how it's sort of dropping there? So it does move ever so slightly. So it does have like little heart confetti and little, you know, shimmers and stuff like that. Look how it falls. So this is to me kind of like, you know, what you would see maybe at Claire's. Now the inside as well. The inside has a cream blush. It's actually the same blush as in the Darya palette, the Diamond and Glow, that big like 6-pan palette. The blush in there is this one, the same cream blush. This is a beautiful formulation. When I tried it on today, I really loved how I just had to tap my Beauty Blender sponge into it. It translated on the skin really, really well. I also liked how I didn't find that it, you know, messed up my foundation underneath, which sometimes cream products can do. So this is one that did a great job. I just did pressing motions as well, and it translated very fast, blended really nicely, and also has a really cool sheen to it. So this is really, really nice. Now the highlight is kind of like a peachy gold kind of shifting shimmery highlight. It has a really interesting impression with the exact same glitter shapes. So the glitter, the heart shapes, it's pressed into the highlighter powder, and this is a powder product. So she has done in the past little windows to separate the powder from the cream, but she didn't do that this time. So you can see what I'm talking about here. There's a little bit of an embossment on the powder side, and again, a little bit unnecessary to me. I can see why she would maybe do it just for something fun, but what ends up happening is the embossment kind of makes the translation onto the brush a little bit more harder to do. So because the embossment is actually a little bit stiffer in my opinion, I do think that when you actually pick up the powder with your brush, I find that it kind of interferes with doing that properly. It is a little bit more uneven on the brush, so I did find that I had to pick it up a couple of times on the brush to get an even, you know, layer on my skin. But that's just like a little con with this. Otherwise, I think that it's the same quality as my other highlight, which I did get from Christmas time. It's the same highlighter formula, the I Needed Nude highlighter formula. So for reference, this is from the Mini Zendo holiday release this past year. This is the I Needed Nude Glow. It's the exact same formulation in this duo for the Mini Love collection. You can see there's also an embossment here, but for some reason I don't find it as deep set as the hearts in the duo product for this collection. But this highlight is definitely more of a pink tone with a little bit of a gold kind of overspray. It is still deep in the highlighter. I do think you're gonna get that shift like as you work through the product. But look at that blush. That blush was a little bit of a heavy swatch. It's absolutely stunning. So this is a really beautiful combo. So here we have the two highlights swatched side by side. You can see that the I Need a Nude one is significantly more golden, as you can tell, and then the one for this release here has a significant rose presence. But this one is really, really stunning also. So I do think when it comes to consistency of formulation, they both are the same formula and they perform the same as well. Now this little Love Cheek duo is going to be available for 42 American dollars or 56 Canadian dollars, just for your reference. Exact same launch dates as the lipstick. The whole collection will launch at the same time. But this is one that I think is really beautiful. The only thing that I will say about this, if you have the big 6-pan Diamond and Glow palette that has the blush in here, I don't think it's worth the money to just buy it for the highlight, unless for some reason you're running low on that blush over on that palette and you want to back up with the highlight, or if you're like really a diehard Natasha fan, you'll just get it anyway because you're a collector. This is something practicality-wise, if you have that blush already, you don't need this one too. But like I said, if you want to give it a try, this is one that really impressed me. The quality was there. Now let's get on to the last product in this collection. This is the NATASHA DENONA Mini Love Palette. Now this is one, you guys, that I was really excited to get because the Midi palette, the Love palette from 2020, actually did not work out for me by a long shot. It was because of a batch code. There were a couple other creators that I talked to about this problem. Some people received palettes that were patchy, that were hard to blend, that were dry. And it didn't make any sense because Natasha really does have quite a beautiful formulation with her mattes, her shimmers, her metallics, and things like that. All of us had the same batch code, which had the crappy product. So we knew that it had to do with some kind of manufacturing thing. There are other creators that have that palette and love it a lot. So I was really eager to give this mini palette a try because I really missed out on the first one and it kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. When she released this, I was like, perfect. This is like another chance at it. So this is the Mini Love. It has 5 shades in it. Now, all the shades are new according to Natasha. There's no duplicates from Love palette. However, the color story is similar, kind of runs the same lines of purples, pinks, you know, the creamy whites, the shimmers, and things like that. My first thought right away is that Unless you're a Natasha collector, I don't think you're going to need both, because I think you can probably get similar looks that you get with this palette with the full-blown Midi palette that's already released. Now, packaging of this, you guys, is very similar to other minis that she's done, with the clear plastic cover, and then there's the metallic pink base that has the same packaging style as the other two products in this collection. So the shades going from left to right are actually spelling a cute sentence. The shimmer there on the far left is you, then R, then the deep matte is my, the shimmery white is true, and the shimmery pink is love. So altogether it spells, you are my true love. Now this kind of thing is the same thing that I've seen with the Marc Jacobs Eye-conic multi-finish palettes. They actually have shades that spell out sentences as well when you put them all together. So this is something new from Natasha. I haven't seen this yet from her brand, but this little palette is going to run you 25 American dollars or 33 Canadian dollars. It will be the same price actually as the lipstick here. Now I actually tested all of the shades today, so I do have an opinion on all of them. I'm going to talk about first the shade that I started with for my look today, which is actually a matte. Now this is the R shade, and this is a beautiful light purple color. What I will say about this is that it really has a nice pigment payoff with this one. A couple of layers and I felt like I had my entire lid covered up, so that was great. I did prime both of my lids with my primer as per usual, the Smashbox 24-hour primer, and then I did that first layer with the matte. I do think it blends really beautifully and layers really beautifully, so first things first, I was having a much more positive experience with this one compared to the Midi Love palette from last year. Then I actually decided to deepen it and I added the shimmery kind of satin shade. This is one that added a little bit of a shimmer to the look, a little bit more of a pinkness, and it actually did work very well. It was very cohesive with that other matte. This too just kind of deepened the entire eyeshadow look, and it let me test both shades out. This is one too that translates beautifully. Pigmented, blendability is fantastic, and also layers really, really well. Now my look is coming together, but I do want to add some depth, and that perfect deep purple right in the center is the perfect shade for this. This is the shade My, and I actually used a really small brush for this. This is the Wayne Goss number 19, one of my favorite brushes from his line. I love to do detailed work with this, and this one did a great job. Very pigmented as well, so dip your brush in lightly because this is one that picks up very fast. But it also blended out beautifully, so do be patient because you will get quite a bit of pigment if you're not careful. Next, I went in with the shimmer. This is actually more of a top coat. It does have a little bit of a pigment base to it, but it is fairly lightweight. What I will say for this one is you cannot press your finger in too hard because it is very, very soft and creamy. When I was doing my swatch of this one, it just almost crumbled in the pan, so it showed my fingerprint and everything. It's very, very fragile. So when you apply this one, go lightly and just build from there. I actually did this shade all over the lid and kind of stopped where that deep purple was. Kind of blended the edges together with my finger as well. This is the shade that gave me some fallout. So just so you guys know, it is kind of like a flaky, shimmery shade. It has a little bit of a weight to it, but it did end up falling on my face a little bit, not too badly, but definitely something that I noticed. The last shade that I used is this white pearly shimmer color, and this is something I just placed with a brush right in the center there to add a little bit more of a spotlight right in the center, kind of like a halo eye, but not quite. This is a beautiful shade as well. It layered on top of the other shades beautifully, blended everything in beautifully as well, and the final look is what I'm wearing today. So it's very, very nice. As of lately, her minis have been doing amazing. Some of her earlier minis were not so great in quality, but this is a good one. So I'm very happy that I have this one. I'm very happy that this is going to be offered to you guys, especially if you were like me and were very unlucky the first time around and got a bad palette from the original launch of Love Midi size. Here are all of the shades swatched on my arm from the NATASHA Denona Mini Love palette. So going from left to right, we have the shade U, Sparkly Duochrome Topper. We have the shade R, which is the lilac color. It is super beautiful. It's a matte. We also have the shade My. which is a deep purple eggplant color, and it is a creamy matte as well. We have True, which is basically a white shimmer with a little bit of a pinkness to it as well. And then we have the shade Love, which is also a pink, but it is a little bit more warm, and it is also metallic. I think a lot of you guys are gonna love this, especially if you are not over pinks yet. If you are, you can definitely skip this because I know she has some more things down the pipe. So just so you guys know, this is a lovely one if this is kind of your thing with the pinks and purples. The quality is definitely there. What do you guys think of this new release from Natasha? Is it on your wish list? Did you already order it? I hope this video was helpful for you, and until my next one, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.